Hi, everybody. My name is Sandy. I'm a very grateful, recovered, compulsive overeater. I live in Massachusetts in the United States. I will tell you quickly that I went to my first and second meetings in 1992, and y'all terrified me. You said we were going to talk about God, and you said I was going to write down my food and tell somebody what I ate. And I ran screaming in the other direction and tried 20 years of dieting. So that's a little newcomer story about let's be really, really gentle with the newcomers and let's make sure that we have space for every agnostic and every atheist and every person. Another thing I didn't identify with was 1992, I was 30 and everybody else in the room was this age. And let's just be really, really gentle and tender with both our newcomers and our returners. My assignment for this workshop is to talk about 12 steps within. And my heart breaks for anybody that's in relapse or that's in the rooms, but still carrying a lot of extra weight or not being able to find an abstinence plan that works for them. And I hope your heart breaks for them too. I will tell you that I got desperate enough in 2012 to come back and that I got really abstinent in 2019 and I'm maintaining a 154-pound weight loss. And when it comes to talking about my journey outside of OA, I will just tell you that I will tell anybody anywhere that there's a solution. And I wasn't always like that. Before I really embraced the idea that this is a disease and that this disease has a day-to-day, I can be in remission from this disease if I just follow a certain food plan. There's a lot more to the program than that, but that's what I tell people on the outside. I have no shame in telling anybody anywhere that's what I did. And I whip out my phone and I show my little before and after pictures, and I look completely different. And people that have only known me at a healthy body weight can't even imagine that I was once 324 pounds, but I was. Yeah. And so I just gently encourage you to always be willing to share. You don't have to go into all the details, but always be willing to talk about how extraordinary this program is because you do not know butterfly effect, right? You might not be talking to a person who can hear it today, but you might have planted a seed and that seed might grow and grow. And somebody, when they do run out of ideas, when they've tried every diet on the planet, they might come back or they might remember what you said, or they might hear it from a second or third person. Let's see. I wanted to start by showing you guys the where do I start, everything that a newcomer needs to know. So the beauty of this page is that you can translate this into any language. Is that true? Yes, there we go. And now everything about being a newcomer is now in German. But for my purposes, I better go back to English. So everything's here for a newcomer. And again, can be in their language. The other thing I want to show you guys and make sure that you're aware of, because I think this is really important. I think that I'm a fiend for unity with diversity. I've been serving as a WSBC delegate on the Unity with Diversity Committee for the last 2 years, and it's been amazing. I've learned so much. I wanted to make sure that you guys knew about the additional search options, finding a meeting, right? But here's the two key ones. First of all, language, right? So all the languages that meetings are available in, yay. Specific topics, which you might be already familiar with, right? But here's what you may not be aware of. Specific focus groups. So not everybody is comfortable in every meeting. And so there are meetings in all kinds of wonderful specific focus groups. And I just invite you to share that and share it again, because you never know who's going to need to reach out. I want everybody to have access to this program. And one of the ways we can do that is that we can let folks know that there are specific focus meetings. Okay. The other thing I wanted to show you. So in the outline for this workshop, there's all kinds of lovely documents for 12 Step Within. How do we reach the still sick and suffering who are here in the meeting rooms with us? The interesting thing about Zoom is you're only seeing me from here up, right? So you don't know what's going on down here. Don't assume anything, but you can inquire. You can see how you can help. Don't do it in a meeting. I don't go, hey, are you at a normal body weight? No, I don't do that. But in a one-to-one conversation, I'll say, are you at a healthy body weight? And what are you doing about that? And that's okay. We can talk about weight. Sometimes we get a little taboo. Oh, no, it should just be about spirituality. Yeah, it should be. And it should be about abstinence. But sometimes it's also about weight. So I wanted to show you this one I like. Who really thinks they are terrible at outreach calls? Dread them, can't stand them, would rather not, perfectly happy to take one, can't initiate one to save my life. All right, so there's this wonderful little idea called Call Five and Keep Them Alive, which is just a lovely little PDF about things you could do at your meeting to call five people and take a challenge and call five people. That's a great little challenge. There's another, I found something really cool. This one is called Focus on Reaching Out. So inside of Focus on Reaching Out, I know this is goofy, right? We're grown-ups. We should have been able to figure this out. But there is actually a teeny weeny little script about what to say in an outreach call. And maybe folks can have other scripts that they use. So don't know what to say. Yeah, we don't know what to say. Hi, this is Sandy from the Sunday morning meeting. I've been thinking about you. I wanted to say hello. How are you? That's all you have to do to get started. Isn't that great? Oh, I wanted to encourage you guys. If you know me, you know that I'm a huge fan of the nudge, the capital N, right? The intuitive hit, the little itty bitty quiet voice in your head that gives you guidance and says, "Ooh, go do this thing." So we can do that with outreach calls. We can do that with people that we haven't heard from. As I was prepping for this workshop, I thought of a few people that I haven't spoken to in about a month. And I thought, I need to call them. And I'm committing to you guys that I'm going to do that this afternoon when we get done with the workshop. And all I have to do is call them and say, hi, I've been thinking about you. How are you? And then listen to what they have to say. It can be that simple and it can be that meaningful. I got my cheat sheet notes from C. Resources on the website, relapse prevention, step studies. Yes, step studies are amazing. I hope your intergroups are running step studies. And there's a wonderful book. It's the Green Book. Let me see if I can find it on the website. That it's all figured out for you. You do not have to reinvent the wheel. You can just get this wonderful workbook. Here it is, books. 12-step workshops and study guide. That's the one. Okay. So this wonderful book will walk you all the way through leading a 12-step study. And this is so good. This is so good because we do have challenges around having enough sponsors. So this is a great way to get people into the steps, even if they can't find a sponsor. This is a great way to move people into doing service. And I am a big believer that service keeps us in program, right? It used to be that having the keys meant I had to show up at the building, but now it means having the tech assignment means I have to show up for the Zoom and I have to be present. Yeah, all these things matter. And having folks that are coming back into program or are in relapse, if you can coach them into a service commitment, even if it's reading the steps at a meeting, anchor them in, make them feel welcome and wanted. I will say I do have one pet peeve when it comes to talking about relapse. I cringe if anybody introduces themselves as a chronic relapser. I would love to get rid of that word chronic because just because you've relapsed 10 times, 15 times, it doesn't mean you have to keep relapsing. It's okay. Let's let go of the word chronic. They might be in relapse, but I'm just inviting you. Maybe that doesn't apply to you, but maybe your sponsor refers to herself that way. Maybe you can get them to just say they were a relapser and maybe they're done with that part. It's okay. All right, I'm going to try to stay on the literature, but you know me, that doesn't always happen. Oh, I want to show you guys this. I hope all your intergroups have this, which is a landing page for newcomers. This is the one we use at the virtual region, and it's just yummy. And you're welcome to also use this one. We have them land here and we put them in newcomer meetings in their language. We have a great time. It's really fun. And again, you know, almost all websites you can, I know that's true for all of our websites, you can just pick the language and change the language. So that's a resource. One thing I can tell you, we do these amazing conventions in the virtual region and we have 80 workshops and 12 languages. I can't even keep track. And I try to stay in my hula hoop, and my hula hoop is not all the magnificent social media that is performed during those things, but we have people do direct messages and we direct message them back. So it's one thing, I do understand at least this much about social media. It's great if you have social media pages and you're uploading content, but it's also amazing if you can just get in a direct message with a newcomer or somebody coming back to program and you can just really make a human connection. These human connections are so powerful, really important. At meetings, be abstinent. Good advice. Be abstinent. Celebrate your abstinence and recovery by sharing milestones with the groups. Here's the thing. I find that I can get away from talking about weight and weight loss and the basics of program if I'm in a group that I'm regularly with. And sometimes it's really important to talk about that stuff and not to just focus on the rest of the steps, but to really talk about a plan of abstinence. My in-person home group, we do a tool on the second Saturday of every month. And so we dive into that tool and how we make that tool work. And that's one of the things that we do. And if we do have newcomers come to our meeting, we do try to bring that back up, that here's how long I've been programmed. Here's how long I've been abstinent. Here's how much weight I've lost. These are important things too. These are really important things. I will say this is good. This is all the stuff about what to do at the meeting. Try to get a phone number for a newcomer, but don't glom on a newcomer, right? We have this agreement in my in-person home meeting, 2 people per one newcomer, no more. We all just know once that person gets their 2 people, the rest of us just stay out of the way and trust those 2 trusted servants to see if they make, sometimes one, see if they make a connection with a newcomer. I know that when I was a newcomer, I was easily overwhelmed if all of a sudden everybody like, welcome. No, just be cool. Just be really cool. Hope that makes sense. All right. What else can I tell you about 12 Step Within? Resources on the website, right? Relapse prevention. We talked about that. Step studies. Another thing that I think is really important about being welcoming. Oh, I want to tell you guys, I want to encourage you to be good international citizens. In Zoom meetings, you know, to be welcoming, it doesn't necessarily, it looks different than I thought it did. When we all first started on Zoom, and I would go to a meeting and almost everybody was on the East Coast and somebody was in Texas, I would go, "You're from Texas. Isn't that amazing?" And I would make a big deal out of them being from Texas until I realized that they are actually just in their living room. They haven't gone anywhere to be with me. I've also stopped asking people if they don't want to say where they're from. They can volunteer that or not. This one's important. This is what all my international friends say. Do you know that Americans and Canadians never use their country code in their phone number? We don't even know what our country code is. It's that little +1. It's both Canadians and US, it's +1. So if you could start just doing +1 and then your area code, that would be part of us being an international community. Does that make sense? Because everybody else in the world does that, right? Our UK friends are +44, and we have friends all over the world, and they always know to do their country codes. And we're like, yeah, we don't even know. We don't think we have one. I had to really learn that Eastern Standard Time is not the center of the universe. I really had to give that up. I found out that there is a time zone. It actually made me mad when I found out there's a time zone in the continental North America that's 1 hour earlier than Eastern time, right? There's Atlantic time. And I was like, well, that's not fair. I always have to be the center of the universe, right? So I had to learn time zones. So learn time zones. This conference is an incredible opportunity to learn time zones, figure out how it works in your time zone. I'm trying to think of what else have I learned about being welcoming and inclusive. I don't know. I think there's a sweet spot between being welcoming and being overwhelming. And I think everybody's got to find that spot for themselves. And I think each newcomer, each returner is a different animal, is a different person. But I would imagine that all of them are pretty scared. And I think that if we can just bring gentleness and kindness, curiosity, get over there and find out what's really going on for that person. What is the thing that is really keeping them from putting both feet in the program? Just be really gentle with them. And I think I'm going to stop there because I'm really rattling it. So thank you for letting me share.